Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, joined by the 5'1" of the world, Jill Ciminillo from Chicago.
Hello.
Howdy, Jill.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah. All right, that's it. Live stream over.
Yeah,
No.
and no.
Jill, I have a special guest with us tonight. Is the audience doesn't know, my birthday was on Saturday, and I got a special little card from my dad, and I got a little bit of cash, and so I cashed that in tonight. Tonight we have a special guest by the name of Whistlepig. That is actually it's a 10-year. It's aged
Okay.
10 years. The sticker says $109. Yeah, that's an expensive bottle of whiskey. So I thought, you know what? People wanted a review of this on my Facebook page. I actually got like 60 likes, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do a review on this. We're gonna drink it right now and have a review. And Dave gave you $5. Mr. No, I turned 29 yet again. I'm 29. By the way, 29. So
I'm apparently 35.
you got $5. I didn't get anything.
It's because I'm cool.
It is because you're cool.
And unfortunately, I am drinking water. So
yes, well, this has water in it.
It has water in it. Yeah, I've been on calls for the past 2 hours, which is why we're a little bit late tonight. So I apologize. We pushed it an hour later. It was because of me.
Sorry, yes. I agree. So this.
Do you agree that it's because of me?
Yeah. I got to tell you, there's a video coming out later this week, Chevy Tracks video that I've been flying a lot. So I've been editing a lot in planes because I'm just so far behind. And you have to watch the video because I think Jill said I was right. I think I counted like 3 times that video, which never happens in a video, by the way. Yeah, I was right. You said I was right 3 times in a video.
Nah.
I have video proof.
It did not happen.
I have video proof. So we're gonna pull a little bit.
It was what is it? A deep fake? Who's a deep fake?
No, it's not a AI deep fake. So I've had 6 year. I haven't had a 10-year. That is really good. Okay, so tasty whiskey aside, what we're talking about tonight, I kind of threw some topics up there because this is so the audience.
Good.
Yeah, right. the audience doesn't understand this, but this is like the only live stream we're doing for the next 2 weeks, maybe
3 weeks.
3 weeks at some point.
I'm
on the road.
Stream I'm going to be on for a while.
You're right. So you may get me only. Jill's doing Rebel Rally. Kicks off next Monday. She's going to be in the desert for. I always get it wrong because is it 14 days? But it's a tech day, inspection day, then like a.
Yeah. So I will leave on Monday. That's a travel day, and then like Tuesday is. Okay, what do we have? What do we need to organize? What do we need to go buy day? And then Wednesday is pre-tech, Thursday is tech. And then we head to our first base camp Thursday. And then we have a prologue day on Friday, which isn't scored, but how well it is scored, but it's not scored. It doesn't count towards your final. And then, but what it does is it sets you up for the day of the beginning day, so the day 1, which is Saturday, but we turn in our phones on Friday. So
Saturday through how long is the race? Saturday or rally? Excuse me. How long is the rally? Not a race, a rally.
Including the prologue day, it's 8 days.
Okay, so I got 8 days of freedom from Jill coming up. So that's me exciting. Cheers to that.
Actually, you're going to have more like 14 days because I'm not going to be, I'm not taking my computer with me. So, I mean, after Sunday,
I'm going to write all sorts of stuff. It's going to be craziness.
I'm going to have Jonathan watch you. He's going to take notes. I'm going to have my husband watch and he will tell me like
everything's going on. Yes.
Yeah.
So, right.
I'll get you back. Trust me.
Well, so here's the problem though, is that Jill's gone and Jill does the majority of the traveling for us because I have I have a really bad travel. What do you want to say? For me to travel is pretty horrendous. It's right now there's no flights out of Scottsbluff, so it's 3.5 hours at the airport, drop the car off, ride the shuttle, make it through security, which security in Denver's been crazy lately, and then fly. So Jill is like, you used to be 10 minutes from O'Hare. So now what are you at now?
It's more like 20 because like we moved further away from the highway. So it's like 10 minutes just to get to the highway, maybe 15, depending on time of day. And then again, depending on traffic, it could be like another 10 or 15 minutes on top of that. But lately it's been taking me like 45, 50 minutes to get to the airport. Traffic has been bad. Everybody's going back to work.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I've had the same problem. So, yes, travel is travel. Travel's not amazing.
Yeah.
I was out 6 days last week, so that's why you didn't see many videos. But I have lots of videos and drafts, and I just need to put thumbnails and publish them. So that's what we're doing. So tomorrow there's the Mercedes-Benz GLE 53 versus 63 Chevy tracks later on this week. We have the Colorado ZR2 Bison first drive. If I get it done, it'll be Wednesday morning. I have Silverado heavy duty Bison first drive. Will be done hopefully later on that day. That's my goal, is get this stuff done on Wednesday when I'm flying. And then we have that's it for embargo stuff, I think. And then we have just regular review stuff. And I have a Jeep Gladiator or Jeep Wrangler 392. I have a Bubba Rope off-road recovery gear set, which you would actually really, I should send you this when I'm done with it, because I don't know.
I mean, at least the Santa Cruz has it. We have Bubba Rope recovery stuff.
Okay, so you already have Bubba Rope. So yeah, so lots of stuff coming for that. So lots of things going on. So what's not happening right away are Toyota Tundra improvements. I misspelled it in the title. I agree. I want to speak to this because
it's just grammatically incorrect.
Right. Well, and Jill, I need Jill. So no, I want to speak to this because I had a video that went live on Friday. I was in Texas at the Texas Auto Writers Association. I had a great experience to be able to sit down and talk with the new chief engineer for the Toyota Tundra, Jay Sackett. If you guys don't know, Mike Spears got promoted. And I didn't know this either. He's head of R&D for North America, basically, and he's the first non-Japanese in that role.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and so yeah, so Jay's new guy. It's a really interesting interview. You guys, if you haven't seen it yet, I'll put a link to the comments here in a nanosecond. But Jay and I were talking about. I got to the point in the interview, and I said, I'm going to ask you hard questions. What are you guys doing for improvements in a Tundra? And people were interested in the comments. So if you don't know the Tundra stuff, there's a seat issue. There's a window that's vibrating issue. And so I wanted to ask him about that. And he actually admitted on camera that his side of his seat is getting wear marks too. Like he's having the same problem, right? That owners are having. So he's having the same issue going on. What's interesting with what his feedback was, and what people I want to drill this home, is he basically said on camera, and him and I talked afterwards about it. He's trying to fix that problem. He's trying to fix the problem. But here's what happens. Design says we need a part looks like this, and then engineering's got to make that part happen. But the part they design, that the engineering and design work ethic happened, isn't working quite at all. People are cracking that seat side. You remember that story, Jill, with the seat like cracks by the controls? I'm talking about like the forward controls, back controls, whatever on the side of the seat. And he was saying, look, he goes, we're trying to find a new supplier that can design it to our needs, but that has a stronger design or whatever, stronger material. And he goes, you would think it's an easy solution, but we're going through suppliers. We have to get the suppliers in, we have to validate them, we have to get the part, we have to test the part out, we have to do our things. And then he goes, it's taken me like it's a long process. Like we have the 2024s coming out and we haven't fixed it yet. And he goes, it takes a lot of time. He goes, you would think it's very simple. He goes, it's very complex to fix that. And I thought it was really interesting. And then a lot of people were asking in the comments about saying, why is there not one guy's like, I can't believe he didn't ask about tow hooks. Well, understand something. I've asked about tow hooks for a long period of time. And here's the thing with tow hooks is you can't just add tow hooks because of the air dam that comes down. The air dam comes down and blocks tow hooks from actually attaching the frame. The air dam's right in the placement. So now you have to go in and you have to re-engineer that whole thing. And what you have to do is change the entire front end.
Right.
Well, that is not going to happen. There's just no way it happening. And so I didn't even ask that question because there's no sense asking the question. There's no sense. I mean, I can't. There's no answer to that question. It's not going to happen until they redesign the entire front end. And I think what happened with that Tundra is I think that they ran into a problem with their safety team. So you have to understand is that Toyota's a very, very conservative company, And so where other brands, the engineer stands out and the market engineering stands out, and that's the way it's got to be, and they can brush off safety. In Toyota's world, safety and legal rules, and so they couldn't brush off safety, so they had to do the air dam, and because they had to meet emission stuff, because that's very much Toyota is a very earth conscious company. They have to meet those requirements. So from Toyota Japan's standpoint, was we want the air dam for better aerodynamics, better ride quality, better fuel economy. Be damned, they're tow hooks. Be damned, the tow hooks. I mean, that was that's their viewpoint. And so it's not like Mike Spirit's going, I don't feel like putting tow hooks on there today, right? I mean, that's not at all, right? He wanted this. Trust me, the guy's a farmer and he wants tow hooks. He understands tow hooks, but as he's told me many times, everybody has a boss. And so I think what happened was he went with no tow hooks in the Tundra, and then I think Toyota's heard so much pushback on that. I think Toyota Japan is going, okay, well then I think that's kind of why I think that's why Tacoma has tow hooks. I think that's why other brand vehicles have tow hooks, because I think he kind of broke the mold. There's a lot of conversation here in the comments about Tundra needs a V8. Guys,
ever.
No, that is not going to happen. I mean, again, because Toyota is Toyota doesn't care about V8s. They care about emissions, and they care about how many CO2 grams per mile. And because the 3.5 liter has 40% less grams per CO2 per mile, it is just going to keep that going. It's just that's just where they're going to be. Dave wants to get back to basics. I agree. I mean, it'd be nice to get back to basics, but when you look at the engines these days, you have less emissions, you have better torque, you have better torque delivery, better torque curve, you have better horsepower, you have better towing. I mean, it's what would you get back to basics on? And then somebody in the other comments on the channel was like, Toyota screwed themselves. The turbos will never last. And I'm like, we've had turbocharged engines for over a decade now. Like over a decade. Toyota's been building turbocharged engines, mostly turbocharged engines, for over a decade now. Like, this is not something new. This is, I mean, what I get frustrated about with some of the Tundra comments is I feel like a lot of people that are very much Toyota fans don't understand what's going on in the rest of the lineup. Like, it's like the Toyota lost the V8. Well, they also killed the Land Cruiser too. They actually killed the Land Cruiser. Like, I mean, they killed V8s globally, and they've had the RAV4 and things have been small displacement V6s for a long period of time, and nobody said anything about that. So I think there's a lot to be said for that. Toyota really needs to fix the infotainment. Yeah, I agree. I made another. Yeah, we have a super chat from Jason. Thanks to you, $2, Jason. So I don't know if I've spoken too much about this publicly, but I had two meetings with Toyota engineers who work on software, private meetings, Microsoft team meetings, and we hashed out a lot of stuff. And it is true, there are changes in the infotainment system based on my feedback, because I was not happy at all with that stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Alice wants to know, Austin K wants to know, how do you think the quality control of Tundra gets overlooked? Window seal and seat issues, etc. So this is a very interesting question. And what I want to say to this is that look back in the 2014 model year. So in 2014, it was kind of a slight refresh of the model. I used to work at Tundra headquarters. I actually shared a Facebook post today. My first review of a vehicle ever was a Tundra in 2014. I actually skimmed the review. I hate reading my own stuff, but damn it, I sounded pretty smart in the review. I was pretty impressed myself back then. Looking back now on it, and I think what I want to say is, in 2014, they had a lot of problems. We had a lot of problems in 2014. We had there's an air injection pump issue. The cam shaft towers were leaking. So yeah, there was a lot of issues back then. I think what's happened is, since it's been so long since we had a new Tundra, and the last Tundra had all the bugs worked out and all kind of stuff was done, that people are like, well, why the old one was so good? Why can't the new one be good right out of the gate? Well, back then, the new one wasn't good out of the gate. We had problems. 07. The new Tundra 07, they had a lot of problems. There are problems. I mean, as much as people think that Toyota is like this holy grail of quality, they make problems. And then I was talking to a fan of the channel, stopped by the other night and checked out New Canyon, which is a great story. But anyways, I was telling him, like, look, I said, every year trucks get changed. Like, my dad, when he worked at GM, used to work on the changes. He used to have a 3-ring binder, 1-inch 3-ring binder, and it would list all the parts changes that year for each model year. Because suppliers go in and out of business, new suppliers have new ideas, they can't get the mold anymore. An engineer has a good idea. Remember in 2019 when the Tundra lost the it was the transmission air or oil cooler.
Yep.
They just killed it in 2019. They got rid of it in 2019, 2020. They didn't need it. Like
Yeah.
that's Kaizen. So Kaizen is Toyota's belief that it's continual improvement. Well,
Yeah.
whether the improvement's a good thing or a bad thing, you don't know. It's just continual improvement. So yeah, that changes all the time. And so yeah, people look upon the past with rose-colored glasses. And I agree. I think that is a problem. Do you think they'll retrofit earlier Tundras when the fix the seat issues? Yes. I believe that would be a massive recall because
that figure out what the fix is.
Yeah, you got to figure the fix is. Yeah, and because that seat is going to crack in everybody. There's just what's going to happen. Dave in Canada says, lose all electronic junk and give me a solid truck with air conditioning and comfortable seats. You know what that is? It's down the street. I got it. It's at the junkyard. It's 1980 square body.
I know. I'm like, it's used.
Yeah, it's used. That's where things are going. Yeah, so I think it's going to be a full I think it's going to be full recall on the seat once they figured out a new way to put that seat in. And if you haven't seen the videos, I've done multiple videos on this thing. I was shocked. So I had a 2013 or 2023 Tundra, 2023 Tundra wasn't when I got to Texas. And Jill, you'll love the story. I haven't seen Jill in a week, so I haven't talked to her. So this is we're going to talk conversation wise, but I was in Palm Springs and I flew from Palm Springs, San Francisco to Dallas. You want to talk about a long travel day? That was just a long travel day. And then I pick up this 2023 Toyota Tundra Limited in green. And I'm like, well, I had a 22 Limited in blue. So it's like literally the same truck. So I had gotten some shade from my friends about having Fritos in my room at night. So I went the next day, went to a grocery store, and I got a bunch of green things to appease the forces that be. And I drove by and I saw this park. And so I park with a nice setting. So I drove over, I do a video. I'm like, did they fix the problems I talked about? And so I do the whole video, and I try to be fair. I mean, there's things I liked about Tundra, things I didn't like. I got back to my room. I wrote the story up. I published pictures on the website. I published a video. And so within 20 hours of picking up that truck, I had a video done and a website review done with photos in the photo gallery. I was so proud of myself. I was like, that's the fastest I've ever done that. Usually you get a 7-day loan and you got that.
You have enough time to see if they fix the issues.
Yeah, I did. I mean, because I knew what they were. I looked for the windowsill. I looked at the seat. I looked at the things that really bugged me. And yeah, they had the same thing. I just was funny. I was like, yeah, it's the same thing. And then people were people on this channel always ask me like, why didn't you tell Toyota about those problems? Guys, Toyota watches all these videos. They watch all these videos. Like I was literally standing there in Texas and they're like, oh yeah, I saw that video on this. I saw the video on this. I mean, if I have an issue with something, I talk about it. Toyota watches that video. Like they were talking about how they just watched my 2023 video. I was sitting there. They're talking about the video. Like that's what happens. I'll do you a comment here. Brian B. I just wish the Toyota would build a platinum 4x4 with an 8-foot bed. Any idea why they don't? It's going to be probably some demand. I mean, those build sequences are all based on demand and what customers are asking for. And so they did add the platinum now has the TRD off-road package based on feedback from fans. So Brian, my advice to you is to keep talking about it, keep asking questions about it. Because again, Toyota's going to watch this. They're going to take notes and keep talking about it in comments. Here's the best thing you guys can do. Go to our channel, go to Trucking channel, go to TFL's channel, go on forums, and just keep posting because they read that stuff.
Posting, commenting, questioning.
Facebook, go to Toyota's Facebook page. Like they have agencies to read all this stuff.
And they will listen to you guys more than they will listen to us.
Right.
Because we're just kind of talking heads and we're two opinions versus like, a whole bunch of consumer opinions. Tim's buying the truck, but like we're generally not buying the trucks. We're driving them for 5 days and then we turn them in. So while we have opinions and we see things and they may listen to them and they may hear it, what they're really going to hear is what you guys have to say.
Yeah. So David kind of brings an interesting question. He goes, interesting how most of the talk is about Toyota every week. And I would agree with that. It is interesting to me, but I would tell you that I was talking to Toyota about this. I'm like, we have a very strong Toyota audience. And so like when I did some extra videos when I was looking at the Toyotas in Texas as a state fair, just because the audience wants those videos. Like I did the Terra Pro color on the Sequoia and Tundra. It's like a 4-minute video. It wasn't really, I mean, it's just, I'm just showing the exterior color and that got a ton of views. And so from a business standpoint, would I love to talk about Ford and Ram and other brands? Yeah. But if I have a lot of audience who wants to know more about the Tundra, I'm going to talk about it. Speaking of other brands, how's the Silverado holding up? so
Good transition.
Right, but you remember, Jill, when I bought the Ford M50, we talked about Ford a lot, and then I bought the Tundra, and we talked about Tundra a lot. Now the Silverado doesn't get as much comments because it's been a refresh. The Silverado is great. My wife, I actually just had to move it a little bit the other day. I haven't actually moved it in like a week because I've been out of town this and that. So my wife drove it to the soccer game with the boys, and she just loved the bigger size, the room. So it's holding up pretty well. I don't know if I've spoken too much about this, but there's $11,000 worth of hail damage on it. And so Geico is currently talking to the guy in town who's going to fix all the hail damage. And they've been back and forth arguing about stuff. Apparently, I talked to the guy today. But they get in next Monday, and he's going to order parts. I suppose we're going to get this thing fixed, and I'm going to sell it. So great. I love the half ton. It's been a great truck. I like everything about it. It's time to move on. It's time to get my money out of it and put it towards the next truck I'm going to buy. And I love it. If there was one half ton truck I could keep, I would be that one. Although I have talked to Catskin and I've talked to Rough Country. Why in the world is not an aftermarket company making better seats for the truck? I don't understand. And
anybody, if there's an aftermarket company out there that makes seats,
yeah, like that, I would have modified that truck. I would have paid for those seats, whatever I would gift, whatever they want to do. They give me the seats, I review them, or I pay for them out of my pocket. I don't care. And I'm surprised at this point. And Jill and I were talking about this when we did the Silverado ZR2 drive. We actually met the prior engineer for the seats.
Yeah.
And she was kind of like, she was taken aback by our comments.
Yeah.
And we're like, how do you not know the seats are bad?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you go to any forum, you go to any Facebook, go to our channel, like it's obvious. And so I don't understand that. It's interesting. It's very interesting. Dick says, wow, Toyota has dudes watching bids and company time. Awesome job. They do. They have the PR team. I know the PR guy, he watched the reviews put out because he's trying to make sure they're giving loans to people that would be good.
Actually,
he's trying to
out of it.
Yeah. I mean, so he's not like watching YouTube all day long, but he's like, okay, Tim had a 23 Tundra or like Jill had the RAV4, whatever it's going to be. And so they're going to watch that review. And then they can make sure that anything we said, was it correct or not incorrect, and they take notes.
And I'll be honest, we get emails from all PR people if we say something really egregiously incorrect.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, we would really like to correct this, or, we would like to have a conversation about this. I will never forget the time I wrote a review. I won't say what vehicle it was, but I wrote a review and I posted it. And literally like 5 minutes later, I got a call from the PR person who was like, we need to talk about your review because this wasn't accurate. And we would like to, this shouldn't have happened. I think I wrote something about the fuel economy and how bad it was or something in my drive. And they're like, we would like to give you another sample because we think yours was defective because this shouldn't have happened. And I was like, okay, I don't know why it happened, but all right. If you want to give me another one, we'll try it again and see if it's any better. But I don't think it's going to be because not everybody drives in a vacuum at 55 miles an hour.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not saying that it's not like Toyota staff or like GM staff, whatever. A lot of times it's agencies. They have so these companies, they hire a lot of agencies to keep track of stuff, and they monitor social media, monitor our stuff. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you guys want me to make a point on something, comment on this channel. Comment. They will read the stuff. Trust me. I actually told that new engineer, Jay, I was like, are you ready for the wild world of internet? Because as soon as you come out, here you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gene wants to know. So, Jill, you may not notice this. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how much she's paying attention to everything I'm doing, and I'm trying to pay attention to what she's doing, and we have just going on. So they launched a 1794 limited edition.
Yep.
Okay. So it's got saddleback leather, which you may remember the guy from Tawa. He was there, I think the year that you were there. It's a really unique dude, really tall, bearded guy. And I saw him walking around. I was like, who is it? I know that guy. Well, it turns out that is Dave Munson, who is the president of the founder of whatever of Saddleback. And he's an interesting guy. And They had matching luggage, and they actually stamped the luggage. I think the luggage has they're building 1,500 versions of that truck, and the luggage is actually stamped for 1,500 to 5. I mean, this matching luggage go with that thing, and that leather is just phenomenal. And I was talking to the Toyota team, and they're like, "Yeah, we had conference calls with Dave talk about leather, and after a while, we're like, okay, Dave, all right, Dave, okay, all right, Dave, they did." Because he's a leather fanatic. Like, he just would kill them with information. So Saddleback reached out to me. They're talking about sending me a sample, and I'm talking about maybe I'll interview that Dave guy and talk about leather, and maybe I'll have a 2-hour interview or something. I don't know. But yeah, I thought the matching luggage is a nice touch. That truck is it's expensive. It's going to be super expensive, but and people are going to bitch about the price on it, and people are going to bitch about the payments on it. I get all that stuff, but look, people got money. People are spending money, especially
on like luxury trucks. People are spending money.
Well, the other thing that you have to think about too is that is the boss's truck. Like,
Yep.
he's going to write it off for business. He needs a bigger write-off. And these, like myself, my accountant's mad at me for not spending enough money. Like, I mean,
Well, I have some ideas on where you can spend money.
right? But I need better write-offs. And so, yeah. So, I mean, that's what's happened. I think it's really nice. It's going to be really so expensive. It's just going to be a lot of money for that truck, and that's okay. But yeah, it was. So I made them. I didn't make them, but I asked Ken, who's a good guy. He's like a Tundra Sequoia PR guy, and I asked him when I got to the truck rodeo the next day. We were doing something over in Decatur, and I said, "Please keep the doors closed, because I want to get that first morning whiff of the leather coming out."
Oh yeah,
yeah, it was pretty nice. And by the way, for those wondering, I asked him about why they did not build 249 more. So the 1794 edition, they're only building 1,500 special editions. Like, why don't you build 1794 of them? And he's like, you would not believe how hard it is to build 249 more trucks because supplier issues and getting all the parts and getting all the stuff together. He goes, it's moving mountains to make that happen. And I was like, that's interesting. Interesting. Jason says, no wonder I get so many Chevy, Ram, and Ford ads on her channel, Tim. Well, I don't control the ads, but yes, I've been on my channel, other channels. It's lots of truck stuff. That makes sense. All right. Yeah, I want to go to this. Jill looked good when she was driving that Subaru, Dwayne says. Jill, you were rocking that Subaru. Excuse me. I want to say Outback again. Oh my God.
Crosstrek.
So wait. So could you help me out with this? So is the Crosstrek smaller than the Outback? Is that how it works?
It's the most compact Subaru that they make. So it goes Crosstrek, Forester, and Outback. So Outback was the first wilderness model they made, and it's the most expensive. Then they did Forester, and now that they've redesigned Crosstrek, they now have a Crosstrek wilderness model.
So it went live a little while ago on the channel. You can check out Jill's review when she's
like, I haven't even seen it yet.
Right, and I added some B-roll on different parts. So there's lots of good things to watch. It's pretty impressive. Did I hear you right in the video? It has the same ground clearance as a Jeep Wrangler.
I think it's like 0.1 inch off. So I think the Jeep Wrangler has 9.4 and this has like 9.3.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's like half the height when you look at it, right? So but it's smaller to get in than a Jeep Wrangler, right? Or it's lower to the ground.
Yeah, it's easier to get in. And one of the things that Jeep has done that, I mean, obviously compact little Crosstrek hasn't done is, with the way that the bumpers and, the approach angle and departure angle wheelbase, like that isn't obviously on the same par as the Wrangler, but the ground clearance, I mean, it's surprising, the ground clearance, but yeah. So it's 0.1 inch off. I think I might have said 0.7 inches different than the regular Crosstrek in the video, and I think it's 0.6, so I was off by 0.1 inch. But I really enjoyed driving this is the vehicle I wanted Subaru to make. When they first came out with the Wilderness Outback, I was like biding my time waiting for the Crosstrek version because I think it's the right size. It's got the right engine. I know a lot of people want the turbocharged engine in it, but I don't think it's lacking anything by just having the 2.5 liter boxer. And I mean, the CVT whine is a little bit annoying, but it's fine. And it's a very maneuverable, fun vehicle to drive. And you know, and it's really funny because, you know, a lot of people, and I see Dick made the comment and that Subaru is a ladies SUV, and I think the wilderness models are not. Like, I think that is going to buck the trend, and it's going to hopefully like change the mindset of some of the people out there. Like, I have friends who wouldn't buy a Subaru because they called it a chick car, and I'm like, one, get over yourself. But two, I mean, the wilderness models are far more rugged and capable than a lot of people are going to give them credit for, and a lot of people are going to utilize in their daily lives. I mean, super, like I think they're Geolandar all-terrain tires. They're amazing. And you know, the X mode for the off, like the terrain control, it does what it's supposed to do. The only thing that I really, in terms of an off-road driving sentiment, that I thought that the wilderness was missing was a front camera. I really think that it needed a front camera, because there were a couple of times where like pointed up and then you start to come down, but you don't know if you should come down straight or if you should come down turning. Yeah. And you can't see. And so if you had a front camera, you could come down, and as the front end is starting to lower, you could see, oh, okay, this is where the path is. I have a couple of feet before I need to turn, you know, and a couple of the off camber, you know, or sideways tilting articulation exercises, you know, it also would have been helpful, because like while there's good visibility when you're level, you know, the visibility isn't as good when you're tilted.
It is interesting you brought that up in the video, and I was thinking about when I was editing the video. A front camera has become kind of a staple for a lot of off-road vehicles in the past, I want to say 5 years, maybe 4 or 5 years, something like that. I don't feel like it's been very long, but it's been a staple. I'm surprised Subaru of all companies that are very safety focused wouldn't have done that.
Well, and I think that the only Subaru that has like an around view camera might be the Outback.
And that's just strange. I mean, it seems like that's something they would do. I'm going to throw another question at you. Speaking of weird vehicles, so Dan Ashley in Chicago wants to know, speaking about large pickup trucks and SUVs, any opinions on the projected possible potential electrified 2025 Mazda Miata?
Okay, so full disclosure, Dan is one of my running friends.
I was going to say, I thought that I recognized the name, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to make sure you answer that question.
And he owns Mazda Miata. The first season that I met him in trainings, 2005, and like I think every week he asked me new questions about the Mazda Miata before he bought one. To answer the electrified question, no, I don't think they're going to electrify that anytime soon.
Too sad. All right, so that goes with that. I was like, I don't know how to answer that one, so I'm gonna go to the website here. So the website, I want to point out a couple things. I did the 2023 review on the homepage. If you haven't seen that yet, I also did what I was wanting to do for a while. The 2024 F1450 trim level comparison, which you need to check the story out and comment below if you want to see more of that story. So I basically went through. I spent like a good hour and a half or two on the build and price tool, and I wrote little snippets of each trim level and what you can expect and what options are and pricing, that kind of stuff. So I thought that was a pretty interesting thing, and we have a new ad for Rugrats that just took over the homepage, but that's okay. They're streaming now on Paramount Plus, family fun. Then we have the Hyundai Kia recall. 3 million older vehicles recalled for fire risk. Why is every recall got to be about fire risk?
Always about fire.
Fire.
And I feel like the newest vehicle included in this recall is like a 2018 Sportage, but everything else is like 2008, 2009, 2012. They're 10 years old, and even though the recalls are worded differently, it essentially has something to do with the anti-lock brake system. So
the anti-lock brakes can catch fire and set the whole vehicle on fire.
Something like that in the engine compartment, which could, then catch and do other things.
I always think it's funny because I'm always like, people are, it's like, every day a car has a fire. That's how ignition works. Fuel, fire. But we have this other thing I want to talk about tonight, the 2024 Honda Prologue. We decided. We didn't. What was it when I was thinking of? I was thinking of something else.
You're thinking of Prelude. You're like, wasn't this just a renamed car? Didn't they use it before? And I'm like, I don't think they used Prologue. I think it was Prelude. I mean, variations on a theme, like for Prologue, Prelude. I don't know, but this
I
is
mean, do they have a thesaurus? Are they doing every P word?
maybe
Pilot, passport,
Prologue.
prologue, prelude.
Yes. But the Prologue is going to be their first fully electric vehicle. It is an SUV. They're saying up to 300 miles of range, but that's going to be with the two-wheel drive single motor version. We have no estimations for the all-wheel drive model yet. They haven't really released pricing yet, but I think they are saying upper 40, but if taking into consideration tax credits and things like that, maybe a mid 40K price tag. So I don't know. I mean, it looks like an interesting vehicle. They finally gave us photos. They haven't given us a lot of technical information or specs yet, but it is coming, I think, Q1 of 2024 as a 2024 model. So we should be getting more information soon about this vehicle. It's built on as a collaboration with General Motors, which I find fascinating. And so it'll have the Ultium battery, but I think this will be the only Honda electric vehicle that will have the Ultium battery. Because I think they just really wanted to get something out and they weren't ready with their own stuff yet.
Well, and also spreading the cost. I was reading something today on one of my Facebook friends, and Rivian, the EV truck maker and SUV maker, they just put out the statement saying that they lose $33,000 per Rivian R1T they sell, which is their truck. $33,000. That's why
electric vehicles are not going to make money for a long time.
Yeah, and I think this is smart. Honda is teaming with GM, sharing some of the R&D costs, sharing some of that stuff. It makes sense. But I think what's interesting with these images, and I'm just going to click on this one. Don't you get the sense, Jill, when you see this image, this is totally CGI?
Yeah, I
do. This is just an idea what it might possibly look like when it comes to production. We're not even close to production, right?
Yeah, that does look like CGI to me.
I mean, it's totally CGI. It's totally, that's
but
why. Yeah, people are like, I'm going to order this tomorrow. I saw the prototype. Well, this isn't even close. This is all CGI stuff.
Yeah.
And the wheels are funky. I mean, it's funky wheels. If you haven't seen it, it's on pickuptrucktalk.com. You're listening to the podcast. But the interior, I want to talk about the interior. So Honda is, to me, catching up the game a little bit in interiors. Mm-hmm. But they put that darn tablet. They glued the tablet on top of the dash.
Tablet does not bother me.
It does not bother you? It bothers me.
But you know what that does is it puts the infotainment screen higher up on the dash so that you don't have to go like this. And that's the problem, is they're trying to keep your eyes up, Tim. So trying to keep your eyes up so that you're not looking down where you shouldn't be looking while you're driving. So I mean, I don't know how you could do this any better than putting the tablet on there. I mean, I guess maybe Hyundai has a really good solution. Cadillac has a good solution where they have the screen that starts on the left side of the driver's wheel and then goes all the way through. And then it has some separation. It's one piece of continuous glass with a couple of different screens. But I don't know. This doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me.
Okay.
It's serving a purpose. It's keeping your eyes up. And so my bigger question or concern would be, what does the reflection look like when the sun hits it? Because, with backup cameras, so my parents have an older, a 2014 Toyota Venza, and it's a pain in the butt because of the angle of the screen. Whenever you put it into reverse, the backup camera comes on, but if the sun is on it, you can't see it because of the reflection of the sun. So, I mean, to me, that's the kind of thing I think about. Is it usable? Can you see it even when the sun is shining on it? That kind of thing. Popping up over the dash like a tablet, not something that bothers me. It's just water, Tim.
It's not just water.
It's just water.
I want to get to this question because I think this is a very interesting question, and I don't know. It's slightly, I don't know. I'm going to Brian Shirley, Brian's been on our Facebook page a lot. He comments quite a bit.
I need to like this.
Yeah, Jill's got his question's so long that we can't see Jill. He's literally covered Jill up. So his question is this philosophical question. I enjoy your YouTube coverage of new trucks and SUVs. With you two and the others that broadcast out all the news, are you all somewhat responsible for the higher pricing? Not directly, but a feeding frenzy gets created by all the coverage. Are you being used by the manufacturers? Used to be that one would have to wait for magazines to come out each month. The way the manufacturers did the reveals is a poor attempt to copy what Apple started again. So he's got more. I guess he's got more comment to add. It's a very interesting question, and so I will tell you that I have asked automakers about pricing many times. I've asked GMC about pricing many times. I've actually asked the VP. I said, when are pricing going to stop? Why, when are you going to stop building these Denali ultimate, premium, ultimate stuff with all this stuff? And he said very interesting to me. He says, he goes, we don't know. He goes, we keep building these trucks and then you guys keep buying them. So in the office, GMC walks around going, what are we going to do? How are we going to add more stuff to this? Because they haven't saturated the market. So from a business standpoint, they're going, hey, if we add more stuff, you guys keep buying it. So then we add more stuff, you guys. So they're mystified. I think GMC is very mystified as well. I don't know that they have an answer to that question either. But when I look at things like when I did the F-150 2 years ago video, it's $2,000 difference. That's fine. It's $2,000. We understand inflation. Now it's $7,000 if I had a panoramic moonroof, which I think is just a product packaging issue. I think that's just their problem. But we don't have a say in the vehicles we get. Mm-hmm. Like the vehicles I get are always fully loaded. And honestly, I have a GMC Canyon AT4X outside, and I don't like it. I can't get in it. It's so frustrating to me to get in out of the damn thing. And remember that, Jill? Remember that one?
I have the Colorado ZR2 right now, and I just have to. I'm gonna do a little walk back for a moment. I'm wearing a dress today, and trying to get into the truck, I literally had to hike up my skirt to be able, because there's no running boards.
No,
I'm just and I was wearing high heels too, and I was just like, oh, this was not the best outfit choice to get into the truck. So I'm in a parking lot, and I'm like, nobody's looking. All right, hike the skirt up and go. But yeah, they're hard. They're tough to get into. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, as much as we can't control what we're getting shipped, it doesn't mean we like them. So we talk about pricing too. Jill and you and I've done several videos talking about the extreme pricing. So the video tomorrow, the Mercedes-Benz GLA 53 versus 63. The 63 wasn't priced when Jill did her part of the video. I was actually able to find the price afterwards. I think it was even more than we thought. It's $40,000 difference. And in that video, you literally can see Jill's like, I want to spend the $40,000. No way. It's just not gonna. So as much as we are covering the vehicles they put out, it doesn't mean we are promoting the vehicles they put out as we like them. Yeah. It's not that case.
And I don't really think that we have that much say in the pricing. Like we were saying earlier, automakers were kind of listen to us with opinions and problems and things that we think they should do, but who they really listen to are you, the consumers, and where you're going to be spending your money. So if you keep buying the more expensive vehicles, and granted, people are taking out 5 to 7 year loans, but if you keep paying those prices, they will keep raising those prices. So they're paying attention to how you're spending your money if you're going to be buying those things. And they also pay attention to the competitive set. So when I was driving the Kia EV9 about a month or so ago, they hadn't released the pricing yet, even though we were driving it. And when we asked why they hadn't released the pricing yet, they're like, well, we're kind of waiting for Tesla to calm down a little bit with their up and down on the pricing. And so they're listening to each other. How did Kia price the EV9? I mentioned the Kia EV9 pricing in the Prologue story, even though they aren't similar vehicles, because I think it's relevant. Everybody is looking at how everybody else is pricing their vehicles before they price their own vehicles. So I would say that Tim and I and the journalists, that are writing about these vehicles, we're the last people they're going to listen to. We've been talking about vehicles being overpriced. I mean, the average transaction price for a vehicle right now is $49,000. What the actual hell? $49,000.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about it many times. I mean, and you can still find some value. And so, like, I when my friend Dale came over, I said, this Silverado I have outside High Country is $67,000. And I said, now this is going to sound extreme to you, but I said, in today's market, with today's pricing, I think that fully loaded Silverado is actually a value. In today's market, with today's pricing, I'm adding all the in today's stuff. Is it still ridiculously expensive? Yes. But in today's pricing, in today's market, and look at that limited edition. Yeah, are they using you all to do the marketing for them?
Like, I want to talk about this too, because here's the thing. They're using influencers to do their marketing for them, because the influencers are not going to say anything bad about the vehicle. They're getting paid like $10,000 to review those vehicles. Tim and I are not getting paid to review vehicles. And one of the favorite things that I love to do in a vehicle is the 5 good things, 5 bad things. I love it because every vehicle has something bad on it. So every vehicle has something bad on it. And I mean, there's some vehicles I like more than others. But it's a matter of whether that bad thing is something that you can deal with. And in every review I write and every video that I do, you will never see me unless I've just completely fallen gaga. And I will say I came close in the Kia EV9 to going completely gaga over it. Like, I will always put something out there that I don't like. I will always put something out there that I don't like, because nothing is perfect. So they probably don't use me and Tim to do their marketing, but they definitely use influencers to do their marketing. But it is incredibly rare where I will have nothing bad to say about a vehicle, and I have no problems saying bad things about it. And if you go to my TikTok channel, I always do the things that I like about a vehicle in one video, and then things that I don't like about it in another video. And I will let each video stand alone.
Yeah, and I think you look back at your videos. I mean, Jill pointed out to the Toyota folks one time here at headquarters. She goes, "Do you guys even talk to Tim after all his Tundra coverage?" Like, I was not kind to that vehicle at all. So I mean, and there's things I like about it, things I don't like about it, but my things I don't like about it outweigh the things I liked about it. So, and Gene says, if Jill and Tim are good at marketing, you see free Cracker Barrel stuff all over the channel.
I have to tell you, when Kristen and I did training, we were right across the street from for Rebel. We were right across the street from a Cracker Barrel, and I was just like, the temptation is real to like go there and like take a picture of our truck in front of Cracker Barrel. Cheesy potatoes.
If you don't know, there's a hidden joke in there somewhere. There was a question I want to ask this question too. I want to get to this question. 222 Ain't says, are there any new single cab 8-foot bed pickups? Yeah. Ford makes one. GM makes one. They are work trucks. You go to the fleet manager at any dealership. Go to Ford.com. Pick an XL. You'll build a fleet truck out of it. That's a fleet truck. And the thing is, the crew cab trucks are consumer trucks, and consumers want more room in the cabin for kids. And so, if you want a new single cab 8-foot bed truck, go get a work truck. I'm sorry that you won't get the fold down shifter in the workplace set up like the Ford Platinum gets. You won't get the self-driving Blue Cruise in that truck. I apologize for that, but they're out there. I think they kind of go back to Brian's question. I think that's what gets people confused, and it frustrates me, is that when you get on YouTube, you see all of these high trim level trucks, fully loaded crew cab, short beds. You see all the high fully loaded SUVs and everything. That's and you think that is all that you see out there. That's not the case. That's just what we're getting shipped. There are more trim levels below that. Well, the idea here is the trim levels that go below that for less price, they just have less bells and whistles. That's all it is. Like the exterior, I mean, a little bit exterior, maybe different tires. Maybe I have a feature, off-road feature here and there. I have less chrome. I have less comfortable interior, less, luxury seats. So that's what happens. So, if you see that truck and you're like, man, I really like the Denali Ultimate, well, just go to GMC or whatever brand, and you will find lower price point trucks that are sold. The high trim level trucks account for like 5 to 10% of the entire brand's take on vehicles. Their volume sellers are the limited, the SR5s, the Z71s, the Ford XLT. The Ford XLT is still the highest trim level. Ford, it was funny to me, the 2024 Ford F-150 has an XTX package, which is a styling package, which was a huge hit in the XL thing. And this new trim level, they made it a whole trim level. Then they gave an FX4 off-road package. They're trying to get that truck below $60,000. Crew cab, stylish off-road gear, under $60,000. They're trying to get the price point down. And all the comments were like, "You sons of guns! You made them so expensive. Why are you making them so expensive?" All that kind of stuff. I'm like, did you guys miss the fact that Ford is trying to get a price point down? They're trying to they're trying to get something down. So like, as much as I don't know if you're missing that or not, but the brands are aware of that. They are trying. I remember my dad when he was with GM, he bitched about this all the time. His bitch is NHTSA and the IIHS, and so they do these crash testings, which makes manufacturers look bad. So manufacturers add more parts, they add backup cameras, they add more steel on the frame,
more airbags, more
airbags,
tech, more And
automakers don't absorb that cost. They pass that cost off to the customer.
Yep.
So when you see the NHTSA, National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, do a test, or the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, that's IIHS, do a test, and they proclaim this truck is bad because it doesn't pass their once in a blue moon crash testing, and then the manufacturer's going to go and add more steel to pass that test. Guess what? You're paying for that. The consumer's paying for that increase.
Okay, but I'm also not going to get my legs broken. Right. I'm okay. Like there's always going to be a price to pay. Like, would you rather? Like, let's play that game. Would you rather have your legs cut off at the knees because they didn't reinforce the steel, or would you rather pay less for the truck? I like my legs. If I'm going to buy a truck, I'm going to pay more for it. So, I mean, safety is expensive. Safety is expensive. And the new tech that's coming out is expensive. Can you get a base truck that has a lot of standard safety features? Yeah, you can. You're just not going to get leather seats and Super Cruise and, all of the panoramic moonroof and, all of the whistles and bells. So it just depends on what you want to pay for. The stuff is out there.
Yeah, I actually if you want to talk about future truck plans, I can't say what I'm buying right now because it's still up in the air. I don't want to announce anything until I actually really know. It's always up in the air. But next year, I really am planning on buying a work truck because I need a truck to tow my camper, and I want to get something that I can sit around and do some modifications to because I really enjoyed modifying the Silverado. So I'm going to buy a work truck, and you guys can see that process and see the difference in a work truck. I mean, they do exist. They're just not. Again, it's like I see people all the time. Like, I really want all this stuff, but I'm not going to pay for it. Anything else? You show them the tradesmen of the XL version. They're like, well, I don't want that. I want all these features. And I'm like, well, whose problem is that? Is that your problem or the manufacturer's problem? If they're offering you a full range, if you look at a full size trucks, the price point is like from, oh my God, it's like from 35,000 to like 96,000 or 100,000. That's a price difference throughout the realm of trucks. And so they are offering a full range of different trucks. And like I said, the thing is like the really expensive TRD Platinum Pro, I'm seeing a comment here. They are expensive. They just they're gonna be, and so you don't have to buy them. I went to a wedding and my one of my cousins was like, well, I drove that Ford Mustang Mach-E. She said, I don't know about that Mustang. I don't know if I don't know if I can do that, whatever. And I'm like, okay, don't buy it. Like, I don't care if you buy it or not. Like, I really don't. Like, they're gonna sell as many as they're gonna sell. I don't really care what it's gonna go. Maybe on a slow week, Tim can go to the dealer and shoot a video on regular cab work truck. I'm gonna buy a work. I'm not gonna buy a regular cab because I want more room. But I'll buy a work truck, and I've done some videos of work. It's funny. I remember TFL did a video a while ago, maybe a couple years ago, and they had a work truck crew cab. And they did a video. They're like, "This is a video you guys." The title was something snarky. It was like, you guys want to see more about work trucks, and then this is the video you're not going to watch. And you wouldn't believe the lack of views in that video because people talk about they want regular cab, work trucks, whatever. They do a video on it, and nobody watched it. So it's like the same idea. Like we do a video on fuel economy in a truck. And you guys are like, I don't buy a truck fuel economy. That's just ridiculous. Whatever. Y'all are lying because the video on fuel economy does amazing. So I'm like, look at the channel. The one of the top videos on the YouTube channel. I did a 100-mile drive on the Tundra. That's like 650,000 views. And then the comments were like, well, I don't buy a truck for fuel economy. Well, 650,000 views later. It's like,
you watched the video. Thank you.
Right. I'm like, come on.
Really, you cared enough.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's kind of those things. All right, Tim, you should see if you can get a Sierra EV for a drive review. I was talking to Chevrolet about this, and they said that they thought about giving me a Silverado EV to tow a camper around with, and actually use it. And I'm like, I don't know. It maybe works. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, the Sierra EV isn't out yet. either.
No,
Like,
it's not
the
yet.
Silverado EV has had test drives, but the Sierra EV has not.
No, so when you see that Sierra EV on the channel when you're doing videos of it, like it's literally behind the scenes, duct taped and like pin cushioned together, like you know, like
Bubble gum and duct tape and dental floss.
Well, all right, so remember that Tacoma TRD Pro in Hawaii
Hmm?
that they said don't look in the back seats because the trim's
Yep.
not quite matching?
Yep.
Yeah, and people were like, "Well, when can I order one?" I'm like, "The prototype's not even done yet."
Yeah.
Settle down. Doug says, "I hope you get 3/4 ton truck, Tim." I don't know if I'm gonna do 3/4 ton, just because of the views. People don't watch heavy duty videos. I don't know.
I did one on the Sierra 2500. I don't even know how many views it has.
That's true, but you parked in your garage. That was a funny video.
I almost put it in my garage. I was very impressed with that.
So I'll give you a teaser. I need to get the thumbnail. I need to publish this video so I was doing editing on the plane. And I literally was laughing out loud at Jill. So Jill had the Alfa Romeo Tonale. I think
Yes.
not Tonale.
No, not toenail. Nick Kappa will come find you.
Right. So and Jill and I are talking behind the scenes on our. We have a messaging board. And we're talking back and forth, trying to figure out what to do with this thing because she's already done the drive and she's done this and done that. And at the end of the day, it's like you've done this, done it. So what else can you do? So I said, do something at night. And so literally the video opens and it's dark and Jill has a flashlight.
Oh no, that was not that one.
That was a Grand Cherokee?
The Grand Cherokee L.
Okay, so the Grand Cherokee.
That's already up.
The Grand Cherokee L. I will put that up. I will put that in the comments because I can do that right now. Or actually, where's it at? I may actually display this. What's going on? Where is the Grand Cherokee? So it's freaking hilarious, and you really gotta watch this one. There it is. 957 views, which is just sad. So
more people need to watch it. So you just gotta tease it.
Well, no, I want to play the first few seconds of this video because it is freaking hilarious. So I'm just letting the ads play out now because I'm not skipping the ads because obviously that's how I get paid. So the ads are playing, and of course it's a Ford commercial, so that's great, Ford commercial. And then I need to go back and turn on the volume. So turn the volume. Okay, yes, come on, max towing 14,000 miles, not quite.
Oh, you got more ads.
Another ad, so that's fine. A Honda Pilot ad. Imagine that, a Honda P with the Prelude and Prologue and Passport, Honda and their Ps. I don't understand Honda Ps. So, and great. Yes, people take their Pilot off-roading them. That's got a front camera.
That was a front camera.
That was a front camera. All right.
You can use Subaru Crosstrek.
Okay, here we go. Here's Jill, and I'm just gonna play an intro. So we will I'll let this play for a second. Okay.
So you can't hear it because there is no sound on this end.
Oh, there's no sound. So basically what she's saying is this is Jill Ciminillo, and no, I'm not telling ghost stories.
No.
So and the Tonale's similar funny video as well. So you guys gotta check that out. So yeah, Jill's video is driving the largest vehicle, so the ATM drive-through and parking the Orange Theory in the garage on the street are always entertaining, intriguing. And that was
Colorado's year 2 coming up.
Right. That was a if you guys don't know, that was a off the cuff idea. I think maybe I gave to you or you came up with it or something.
The TRX. That was we did it a few years ago. Yeah,
you and I were talking about the TRX and like what to do with this thing because you got it in Chicago and TRX in Chicago is just it's kind of dumb. But I said just use it in everyday life. Or I think maybe I told you came up with whatever. And then she's trying to get remember that was it you had the 3-point turn or 4-point turn of that ATM machine or something?
I was trying to go into like I think it was a Dunkin' Donuts drive-through, and I was like, abort! I can't do it. I'm not gonna be able to make it because it was like narrow, and then I had to like turn, and the turning radius was not gonna work.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that was a great movie, great video. So Jill's series of those videos. Actually, I should do a Jill in the City playlist because they're hilarious.
There you go, Jill in the City.
All right. I think that's about it for tonight. A lot of conversation about EVs in the comments, lots of conversation about Ford and the vehicles and stuff like that, which is always good. I love people interacting in the comments with this channel is here for. Again, Colorado's ZR2 Bison. We have the Silverado HD Bison. We have Jill's Alpha video. We have the Chevy Trax video. We have I'm doing a Lexus TX tomorrow. Yeah.
I just want to say I got Wendy's chili.
Yeah, Wendy's chili.
And drive through.
And by the way, Jill, we're over 99,000 subscribers.
Getting closer.
We are. So I ran the other day on a treadmill, which I ran in Palm Springs, and it was so much easier. I ran yesterday. My heart rate was like 179 beats per minute at half mile mark. So my wife says to me, she goes, "Where are you guys going to do this challenge at?" And I was like, "Sea level."
Yeah.
she's like,
100% sea
anywhere? No, sea level. Like I actually was thinking about this, Jill. I'm thinking LA Auto Show. Did you get?
Maybe.
Are you? Yeah, are you going?
But I don't want to bring my golf clubs. That's snotty and stupid.
No, it's not. But
Yes,
I'm not.
That's really presumptuous to bring your golf clubs on a press trip.
Not if you're going to stay a day after.
Still presumptuous.
Well, I brought them to Hawaii. You call me presumptuous?
Yep.
What's Hawaii?
Don't care.
Please.
Don't care. I'm not bringing my golf clubs on a press trip.
But we're staying for the show.
Don't care.
Okay, so we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna have
I'm not doing it.
Okay, well, we'll figure out the. It's not presumptuous. We'll have to figure this out. As far as we're doing the challenge, but yes, we're going that way for the. What do you have planned for 1,000 subscribers? Rick wants to know. If you don't know. Oh yeah, sorry.
I was gonna say we need to have a retreat in Florida. Okay. That I would bring my golf clubs to.
Well, the Florida golf courses aren't really that good right now. They've been problems on there. Hurricanes having a problem with the golf courses. So wait. So if you guys don't know, 100,000 subscribers, I'm gonna run a 5K, and Jill's going to play 9 holes of golf.
Yes. So I'm a runner. He's a golfer. We decided that when we hit 100,000 subscribers, he has to run with me, and I have to golf with him.
So we did clarify a few things. I think we agreed that it's a run as much as Tim can's, maybe a run walk combination. And then it's a play as much golf as Jill can.
Oh, no. It's not play as much golf as Jill can do. It's play as much golf as Tim can handle Jill playing.
Right. So,
because I'm not good.
Right. Yeah.
Totally cool with that.
Yeah. So I've been I have some health issues that I've been combating. So I'm getting better. I'm getting to the point where I can probably do more. So I used to do 100-mile bike rides, used to do a lot of stuff, and then life happened. So yeah. So it's in progress. That's what's gonna happen. 100,000 subscribers. If you haven't hit subscribe, please do. We have 86% of the videos that get watched are not subscribers. So if just a handful of people would hit the subscribe button, we'd be 100,000 subscribers tomorrow. That's basically what's going to happen. And that happens a lot with most channels. I see most channels, majority of people watch who are not subscribers, and that's fair. There's no real incentive for you to subscribe besides you get our content easier on your homepage. That's what's going to happen. All right, Jill, it's an hour and 2 minutes. I'm done. I'm fried.
I need to go eat food.
You need to go eat food.
My computer for 3 hours now.
Yes. So you're going to go eat. I'm going to put myself in a chair and I got to pack before I go leave tomorrow. And yeah, that's going to be it for tonight, guys. All right. As always, thanks for watching. We will see you down the road.